This question comes from, well, honestly, from everyone who has ever stared at a globe for too long and thought, wait a minute, what if it just stopped? So let's imagine, 1 second, the Earth suddenly decides to slam the brakes. Now, before you panic, no, the Earth wouldn't just fall out of orbit or suddenly implode. Its orbit around the sun doesn't depend on spinning, so we'd still be circling our star. But the real issue is momentum. Everything on Earth's surface is currently traveling along with the planet's rotation. At the equator, that's about 1,600 kilometers per hour. In other words, faster than a jet plane. And if the Earth stopped, everything not nailed to the bedrock would keep moving. Cars, houses, oceans, you, me, everything would fly eastward at supersonic speeds. For most people, this would be less of a fun science thought experiment and more of a sudden relocation into the next time zone by way of turning into mist. Okay, but maybe you're not at the equator. Let's say you live somewhere near Canada. Lucky you. You'd only be launched at around 900 kilometers per hour. So instead of becoming high-speed confetti, you'd just crash into whatever happened to be in the way. Trees, buildings, other people doing their best impression of human cannonballs. Basically, the whole world would instantly turn into the world's worst car accident, except it involves 7 billion vehicles and none of them have seatbelts. And it wouldn't just be people. The oceans would keep moving too. Entire seas would slosh eastward, creating mega tsunamis that would make 2012 look like a splash in a kiddie pool. The atmosphere would keep going as well, which means that suddenly we'd all be inside a 1,000-mile-per-hour hurricane. A hurricane so powerful that instead of blowing off roofs, it would blow off continents. But here's the fun part. It's only for 1 second. After that, the Earth would start spinning again like nothing happened, except, of course, for the small detail that most of civilization would now be rubble, and all the oceans would be climbing up mountains they were never supposed to visit. Now, you might be wondering, what about gravity? Would people just fly into space? Nope. Gravity's still pulling everything down. So technically, we'd stay on the planet, just not in the places we started. If you were inside a building, you'd be launched straight into the eastern wall at jetliner speeds. Congratulations, you're now a paint smear in your own living room. Planes in the sky? They'd suddenly find themselves outrunning the sound barrier without even trying. Trains? Gone. Skyscrapers? Pretend you stacked Jenga blocks and then hit them with a leaf blower set to maximum. That's what happens. And the poor oceans, oh boy. Imagine all that water trying to catch up. The Atlantic Ocean would decide to visit Paris, while the Pacific might just keep going until it smacks into Nebraska. Fish would briefly become supersonic projectiles. Dolphins? Forget about it. What if you were at the exact North or South Pole? Funny enough, you'd be safe. At the poles, the Earth's spin speed is basically zero. So while everyone else is being converted into airborne meat smoothies, you just stand there, slightly confused, wondering why the phone lines suddenly went silent. Of course, after 1 second, the Earth's rotation resumes, but the damage is done. Cities, gone. Power grids, destroyed. Oceans, rearranged. Humanity, mostly missing. Honestly, the planet itself would probably recover faster than we would. Nature would eventually calm down, seas would settle in their new neighborhoods, and cockroaches would inherit the Earth as usual. So the answer is, if the Earth stopped spinning for 1 second, the world would not simply pause, it would end in an instant of unimaginable chaos, destruction, and very, very fast fish. But hey, look on the bright side. For that one glorious second, if you were standing at the equator, you'd technically be the fastest human who ever lived. Unfortunately, you'd also be the shortest lived.